Welcome to the Build Story. Two men set out into the forest with a shared dream to build a rustic log home with their own hands. Their journey began with finding the perfect location. Once they had their spot, their first task was to manage their materials. They built a simple but sturdy rack to store the massive tree logs they would use. To do this, they drove smaller logs vertically into the ground and then attached horizontal logs on top, and for extra strength, they hammered wooden pegs into the joints. With their lumber organized, they turned their attention to the house itself. One man measured out the footprint of the home with a string line and began digging the foundation. While he dug, the other built a clever tool, a makeshift stretcher from a net and a pole. They needed to gather heavy stones, and this stretcher would allow them to carry a large load together, saving them from countless trips. After gathering a large pile of stones, they went to a nearby water source to mix cement. They lined their net stretcher with a piece of cloth to carry the wet cement back to their building site. Using the stones and cement, they built several short pillars. This foundation would raise the floor of the house off the ground, protecting the wood from dampness and moisture. Next came the floor. They selected the largest logs and carefully cut notches into them so they would fit perfectly over the stone pillars, creating a horizontal frame. Once the main frame was laid out, they cut more notches where the vertical walls would eventually stand. For added stability, they filled the frame with sections of wooden slats and then covered the entire structure with a layer of planks, nailing them down with a hammer to create a solid, flat floor. With the foundation and floor complete, it was time to raise the walls. They prepared vertical logs, shaping and notching them. And then lifted them into place. They erected the logs in sections, leaving spaces between them. The work was tiring, and they took a well-deserved break. One man skillfully carved a beautiful wooden cup. And they gathered refreshments, brewing a warm drink to enjoy before getting back to work. After their rest, they began filling the gaps in the walls. They fitted smaller logs horizontally between the vertical pillars. To make sure the walls were sealed against the wind and cold, they stuffed a layer of soft, cloth-like material between the logs, plugging any holes. The two men worked efficiently, often on different tasks at the same time. While one finished the walls, the other built a simple outdoor washroom where they could shower. He rigged a system to pour water from above and took a moment to wash up. Meanwhile, back at the house, his partner was busy installing a wooden cupboard and framing the doorway. Soon, the walls were finished, and their final major task was the roof. They decided on a classic triangular shape. First, they built a frame using wooden slats. then laid heavy logs over it to form the main structure. Cutting and adjusting them for a perfect fit. After that, these two individuals get to work. One of them starts by crafting smaller pieces of planks, which will be essential for the final roofing. He produces hundreds of these smaller pieces, stacking them neatly in one place. Simultaneously, the other person takes wooden beams and installs them horizontally. To cover the empty spaces within the already constructed rafters. He works from the inside, covering the interior side of the roof to create sections between the wooden beams and the planks. These sections are designed to be filled with sawdust for insulation. Once the interior is covered, they applies a reflective foil. This foil serves a dual purpose. It will keep the house cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Then, they fills these sections with sawdust. And adds another layer of reflective foil on top for extra protection. With the insulation in place, they create battens on the roof using wood. They carefully nail and hammer the battens into place, cutting off any excess pieces that extend beyond the shape of the house. Next, they begin installing the small wooden planks they had prepared earlier. These planks are laid over the battens, which help to protect the roof from moisture and allow for air circulation. They cover the entire roof with these small pieces, giving the house a complete and proper look. While one person is busy with the roofing, the other starts working on the boundary fence. He first marks the boundary with a string and then digs holes at the corners. He places logs vertically into these holes to create the main posts for the fence. After setting vertical logs, he adds large horizontal wooden beams for added protection. He then fills the spaces between the vertical logs with more wooden logs, completing the palisade fence. With the fence built, they turn their attention to the main entrance of the house. They create a beautiful frame for the entrance by taking 2 logs, carving notches at the top, and attaching a horizontal log. They then lift this frame and place it in the designated area. Next, they build a small gate to go with the fence. Covering it with wooden planks and adding an iron latch for locking. While one person continues to work outside, the other moves inside to work on the window frames. He builds the frames, attaches hinges with screws, and installs them in the window openings, ensuring they are well covered. The person outside then begins constructing a rustic arbor. He erects 2 pillars, places a horizontal pillar on top, and then builds a rafter. A rustic arbor typically has a half triangle shape rather than a full one. He then adds beams to the arbor, creating sections. After finishing the arbor, they start paving the area from the main entrance to the house's door and the floor of the rustic arbor. They collect stones from the jungle and set them in place with cement, creating a durable and attractive walkway. While one person is installing the small planks on the rustic arbor with precise calculations similar to the house's roof, this provides a covered space to store things and protect them from the snow and moisture that can damage the wood. Then he is filling the space between the pillars and the floor with stones. Inside the house, one person is painting the windows. They both continue to work diligently on their respective tasks. After painting, installing glass in the windows, outside, a sturdy table is built under the rustic arbor, providing a place to store tools and other items. They also build a stone staircase leading up to the main door of the house and continue to lay stones for the walkway from the main entrance to the house. Inside, with the cold weather in mind, they build a fireplace. They construct a wooden frame and place an iron stove inside. While one person is building the fireplace with stones, the other is finishing the stone pathway outside. ensuring there is a proper outlet for the smoke to escape. To fuel the fireplace, one of them goes into the jungle to collect small pieces of wood. He brings them back, cuts them into smaller pieces, and stores them in sections built next to the fireplace. With the fuel ready, they start the fire in the fireplace. Finally, they build the main door for the house. They construct a sturdy frame, cover it with planks, and install a latch. Inside, they build a raised bed. They attach a log horizontally to the wall. and then lay planks across to form the bed frame. To make the bed comfortable, one of them cuts a piece of foam to size, places it on the bed, covers it with fabric, and stitches it in place. They then build a table and 2 benches for the inside of the house. They also build a small cupboard to place on the table. They paint the door, table, and cupboard. Lastly, they build 2 chairs, paint them, and place them in front of the house. With that, the house is finally complete, a testament to their hard work and dedication.